Hi guys, this is Vidas.
And Ushra.
Let's start episode 62 of Ask Vidas and Osho podcast. And today's question was sent by Adeniyi, and he writes that he has no organ to use. And that's his challenge. Right, Osho? Can you practice organ without an organ?
Well, you can do a lot of work not on the organ, but later you still have to apply it on the organ because you can do like mental preparation to work with score without any musical instrument when you can practice on the piano and do a lot of things too. But finally, you still have to get an access to an organ. What do you think about it?
You're right. Mental practice, keyboard practice all are very useful things, especially when you have to save time and if you travel, if you are in a room without an organ. But then let's talk, Osha, about getting access to a church organ someplace in your area. You don't have to have an organ in your house, right? Or in your home.
Yes.
So obviously there are churches nearby, maybe 5 miles around you or 10 miles around you, wherever you in your neighborhood, in your city, maybe in your region. um, if you live in a remote area, you can practice this, let's say, just once a week.
Yes.
And do all your work on the keyboard, and get better this way, but then get access to the real organ with pedals, let's say just once a week. So Osha, how would you imagine the situation? You have no organ at home, you have a piano, for example, you want to practice organ playing, and you have a church in mind, right, in our neighborhood, and pretend you're not university organist, right? So you have to go someplace and ask, what's your first step?
Maybe I would just go to the nearest church and would, you know, uh, ask them if I could use the organ time after time, and I would suggest something in exchange. Maybe, to volunteer for them, and not necessarily to play like, during a service at the beginning. If I would be just a beginner organist, maybe I would just suggest to be an usher or to do some other kind of work.
Yeah, especially if you have no organ playing skills at the beginning, it would be too strenuous for you, too stressful, right? To
Yes.
volunteer liturgical organ playing once a week, or do some other professional work, right? Um, but then, of course, later on, maybe in a few months or even half a year or on the next year, you can definitely volunteer to pay for them in the church service in exchange of letting you practice regularly.
Yes.
Do you think that church administration would be willing to do this kind of exchange?
I hope so. Maybe not each church would agree on that, but I think most of them, yes.
Because most of the churches need volunteers, right? They are not too packed with volunteers. There may be some works they could offer you to do, right, in exchange of your services, or maybe they would need your other some kind of other help. Maybe you know how to do the computer work, right? Or maybe you can do some manual work too for them.
Yes, there are all kinds of possibilities.
So the church is one possibility. Do you know, are there any other possibilities to get an access to the instrument in your area?
Well, I don't know, there might be, I don't know, some neighbor who has an instrument.
Mm-hmm. For example, if you have a group of friends who are interested in organ playing, and one of them has organ at home, so let's say 3 of them or 5 of them could get together and play recitals for one another, and also get regular in exchange practice on that instrument. Maybe make a donation to that
Yes.
friend for the maintenance of the instrument and the use of their time. That's possible if you live around organists. So usually that happens in a city situation, not in a
Not so much
remote
in villages,
area.
yes.
Okay, but what if you, let's say, have this access once in a while to the church organ, but you want to practice regularly on the keyboard without the pedals, but organ music with pedal part? Can you do that, Usha?
Well, you can do that. You can just draw yourself a pedal board and imagine that you're playing it.
Or print out a pedal board
Sure.
from the internet, glue the parts together to make the papers sheets larger, and real size pedal board can be assembled in, I think, 6 or 12 uh, sheets of paper, and you can put them on the floor, right?
And if you will be able to play on such a pedal, then definitely you will be able to play on a real one. Because this way is much harder.
Remember, Osha, in our Undamaris studio, we have a number of keyboards and pedal boards printed out,
Yes.
and some people do use them. And sometimes we even do coordinated simultaneous practice when one person plays on the real organ and the rest of them play on the silent keyboards or paper sheets. Right?
Yes, it works fairly well.
Yes. They hear in their head what is sounding, but they all practice together at the same time, the same piece. Very, very slowly, of course. Maybe not all of them are at the same level. Maybe one is beginner level, another is intermediate level. So intermediate level organist would play all parts together, and beginner would play just one part alone, right?
Yes. So there are various solutions actually for this situation like this. You just have to explore your area, to check all the possibilities. And I hope that you will find the right solution for you.
And we hope to help you grow as an organist further. So please send us more of your questions and simply reply to our messages that you are getting through this blog of organduo.lt as a subscriber. And remember, when you practice,
Miracles happen.